Hello watch enthusiasts, this is OJ Whatley coming to you live from What You Want, and I'm here to talk to you about a very special Panerai. Before we begin, if you enjoy our watch videos, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, What You Want Inc., where you can get more details and information about all of our watches. Additionally, you can check out our website anytime by going to www.whatyouwant.com, where you can view our entire inventory and selection of watches. We update our watches daily, sometimes hourly. You can find those in our new arrivals section and our sneak peek section. And we also categorize all of our watches for easy viewing by brand. So today I'm here talking to you about one of my favorite newer released Panerais. This is the Panerai PAM 514 1940 Radiomir 3 days. So this is one of the newer releases that utilizes one of the newer movements, which is their in-house 3-day power reserve movement. It's a manual winding movement, and what's neat about this movement that I really enjoy is that it has a date indication. Most of the time when you had automatic watches, you really wouldn't get, that was the only way you really got a date complication, and usually whenever you had a manual winding watch, it was pretty much devoid of a date indication. Of course, that was with a few exceptions. The 8-day power reserve had a date indication, but generally speaking, unless it was an 8-day power reserve, it was a manual wind, you typically did not get a date. Now, that was replaced with the PAM 424. That was the first Radiomir to feature a manual winding movement with the date, and that is the same movement that powers this watch, the PAM 514 Radiomir. So this is an in-house movement. This has got that 3-day power reserve, see-through caseback, and you can see that finely finished movement through the sapphire caseback. So this is the 1940 Radiomir. What distinguishes the 1940 Radiomir is two things. Number one, most Radiomirs, of course, to be classified as a Radiomir would be without the crown protection. Would be without the crown protection device. That's clearly the case in this watch. But not only does it not have the crown protecting device, the crown protector, it also has fixed lugs. So historically, whenever you'd have a Radiomir, it was defined as a Radiomir because it didn't have the crown protector and it had wire lugs. The wire lugs were an interesting adaptation to the pocket watch, which essentially allowed you to put a strap on a pocket watch. That was sort of the genesis of the wire lugs, and the first generation of Panerai Radiomirs featured those wire lugs. So the 1940s Radiomir is an improvement to that concept by actually welding on to the case fixed lugs, and beefy fixed lugs at that. One of the interesting things about these fixed lugs is that rather than having a screw for the lug screw that screws in, these are actually spring bars, and so you just put a small pin through that hole in order to release the spring bar to change out the straps. The other unique feature of the Radiomir 1940 is that oversized barrel crown. I love that barrel crown. In this case, the barrel crown features the OP Arrows logo on it, and it's finely engraved, almost kind of sandblasted out of the crown. But what I really love about that winding crown is it's big and beefy. It's not hard to wind, it's sporty, it's durable, and it just feels like you've got a lot of purchase with which to wind that movement. You know, with the winding crown protector, a lot of times it impedes winding the watch. It makes winding a manual winding watch somewhat difficult, and in some cases makes setting the watch difficult. But with this winding crown, it does screw in, just like the Radiomir winding crown, which is more like an onion shape. But it's more like a Rolex Submariner winding crown, and in fact that's where this crown is influenced from, was the oversized crown found on the original military subs, the 6536 for example, that featured no crown shoulders and featured that overwind barrel style, oversized barrel style winding crown. So what I love about this watch is it does have the date indication featured squarely at 3 o'clock. It's got the dirty brown dial with the sandwich dial, so you have the numbers cut out and you have the luminous disc underneath for luminosity. And then you've got these very nice oversized stick hands that are stainless steel. They're probably white gold, but filled in with a nice amount of luminous material. So this watch really glows like a flashlight. And then of course you've got that very cool signature sub-seconds dial at 9 o'clock. All the things you'd want from a classic and historical Panerai, and yet with the date, so that you know exactly what day of the week it is, what date it is. For me, that is sort of a deal killer. As much as I love the original vintage Panerais, and I've got a number of them in my collection, I find it hard to wear them because for me, I have to have a date. I just go stir crazy when I'm wearing a watch that doesn't have a date. So to me, this watch combines the very best of all worlds. You get that vintage look and feel. You get that very unique Radiomir shape and look and feel. You get that very cool oversized barrel winding crown. You get that sandwich dial with the dirty brown luminous material in there. And of course you get the date. And to me, that's just win-win all the way. Additionally, this watch features the old school, the original thumbnail style tang buckle that was found on the original Panerais made from 1998 through about 2005. This was the only tang buckle that was available through 2005 until they re-released the Pre-Vendome style, sort of oversized, what we call bottle opener Pre-Vendome style buckle. So this is sort of a throwback to what we call the neo-vintage Panerais. Again, this is the thumbnail style Panerai buckle. Has the Panerai stamp right on the buckle, and it's screw-in buckle, just like all the other Panerai buckles. Let me just try to get a focus on that. And there you have it. So that's the Panerai PAM 514. Absolutely one of my favorite new-ish released Panerais. 47mm stainless steel case, sapphire crystal, and as you can see, that sapphire crystal is very contemporary. It's very flush to the case, so it's not going to get in the way. It doesn't cause any distortion, which is what you have in some of the more vintage models. As much as they give you a more vintage look and feel, they can create quite a bit of distortion on the dial when you're trying to read the time. To me, this is a highly legible and yet still very tactical watch. It combines the very best of what I call the new age of Panerai, without giving up that tactical look and feel, without giving up that vintage look and feel, and of course the Panerai DNA that is infused into all Panerai watches. So there you have it, folks. That's my review on the Panerai PAM 514, the 1940s Radiomir 3-day power reserve, featuring the manual wind P3000 movement. So it's the P3000 movement with the 3-day power reserve. There's a great picture of the case back. You know, as always, if you like our videos, please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Watch You Want Inc. And please make sure to check out our website, watchyouwant.com, to view this watch as well as our extensive inventory of watches categorized by brand and updated daily. Thank you so very much for your time today. And as always, wear your watches in the best of health. This is OJ Whatley for Watch You Want, signing off. Have a great day.